Okay, Reverend Crystal Cox here. Email bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com. Here comes the coughing. See, it's you guys that do that to me. I wasn't coughing before I called you. Oh, I didn't call him on video. Who knew? Okay, the Awakener. Page 86, chapter 7. The path of initiation and testing. All starseeds and lightworkers follow a path of initiation towards ascension. It is up to each individual to grasp the opportunity being presented and understand the concept being shown, to learn the lessons and move on. The various stages take different time periods to transcend, depending on the ability of the person to master the lessons. Many are aware that Jesus incarnated to introduce the age of Pisces. This was a time for people to become aware of the concept of love thy brother as thyself. This was a movement to bring a deeper compassion and understanding throughout mankind. There were also other reasons not so well known, because it was known that when he combined with his I Am presence around the 30th year, his vibrational capacity would be extremely high, and the plan was for him to then carry a high vibrational blueprint that would raise the ceiling of light on Earth. You could say that previously to this, the human population was crushed by the heavy density caused by negativity around them. So Christ came here to raise the consciousness of Mother Earth and her people, and to give us all examples of what we can do. The hands-on healing, the faith healing, that's all about raising the consciousness of the person, raising the frequency of the person to perfection, moving them to a timeline when they're instantly healed. So Christ coming here to, the Dark Lords, the free will, everything that was happening here, to give hope to humanity, to bring in light. We still have free will. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. I don't want to go too much into the human's density. Yeah. By the pattern of his life, he also symbolically showed each step we have to take on the path to ascension. Everyone follows these steps in his or her own awakening process. There is no specific length of time it takes to complete each step, because everyone chooses their own pace. The stages of this process are as follows. The birth of Christ. This relates to the birth of the Christ within. It is that first moment of realizing that you are something more than you had previously thought. This symbolizes the recognition of the threefold flame deep within the heart. The threefold flame represents the blue ray of the power and divine will of God, the yellow ray of wisdom, and the pink ray of love. This flame is our connection to the divine source. The baptism. This is the first conscious decision we make to purify the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. It could be a decision to begin eating healthier food, to take a flower essence to help cleanse our emotion and mental patterns, or read a book on positive thinking. This begins a change in our vibrational pattern, opening up a new awareness that allows more light into our life. Transfiguration. This is the commitment one makes to begin the search for truth. Some start on this step and move continuously forward, while others may choose gaps of several years throughout this stage. Whatever the circumstances, this stage is rarely abandoned permanently. Once this process is started, it can become almost obsessive. This is a stage where lots of books are read. Many courses are attended, and one can get involved in philosophies, cults, or mainstream religion in a search for answers. It is also the beginning of 3 stages of testing that takes place on this route to ascension. This first stage challenges your commitment and the sincerity of your decision to come to Earth as a light worker. Can you be relied upon to carry out your tasks and agreements, even if difficulties arise? Imagine a situation of being in the front line during a war when you would really need the assurance that your team members would not desert you. You may be on a particular maneuver when you were relying on them to provide cover for you, but because of some particularly heavy opposition, they fled. See, you gotta have the light workers that you can count on to have your back. Yes. In a way, the situation is similar. You need to be able to be counted on and not weaken in the face of adversary. There is a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I already knew that one. Okay. This is the easiest stage of the testing path. Alright, so you get tested, and tested to see if you're going to keep going. And then you get tested some more, and then some more, and then another decade, and then... I digress. Okay, the next stage is called the garden. This was the time Jesus went alone for 40 days into the garden to meditate and be still, to gain wisdom and greater connection to the divine source. This is the time in your life when you must stand alone. Family and friends will desert you, and you will have no one to help you face your situations or give you assistance in your decision making. Some of this we also know as the dark night of the soul. You will receive no help from any source other than your own spiritual connection to the divine source. Been there, done that. This means neither human nor angel will assist. All have agreed that for your greater good they will not assist at this time. This can be a time of working through great problems and sorrows, also with the option of moving into stillness to seek the answers and the wisdom within. Your faith, love, and trust are greatly tested in two ways. The first is your ability to maintain a spiritual viewpoint of unconditional love toward any friends, family, and beings in the ascended realms who appear to have deserted you and let you down. The second is in your trust of the divine perfection of all things, in your knowing that everything that happens in your life is perfect and for your highest good. This level is the most difficult stage of the testing. You think? Yeah. The degree of testing can vary enormously because various factors come into play at this point. One factor is how much cleansing has already been done up to this point. Yeah, I don't know about that. If there is still a great deal to clear, this stage can seem very tough because the emotional and mental bodies are getting stripped away at the same time. It may also be that you have chosen some pretty tough tasks and you need to be toughened in preparation for them. Yeah, well, there's that. You can either have a very easy time of it, or you may feel you are being pushed past the limit of endurance. It is possible to have experiences that cannot be explained, either to yourself or others. You may also feel that you are going through a very traumatic negative experience, and you seem to be lost in there somewhere. This is how it can seem, without the understanding that comes later. The answer is simple. Can you maintain a spiritual viewpoint whilst under pressure? Yeah. Been there, done that. Can you remain in service to God under pressure? Yeah, and I am God and Goddess and in service to the light. Can you be unconditionally loving no matter the circumstance? I'm almost there. If you continue to hold the focus of light and not give in to the temptation to let it go in order to get some peace. That's funny. Light, get out of here. Give me some peace. Okay, if you can hold your spiritual viewpoint and be aware you are invincible, you will not only endure it, but will come to a great place of peace and joy. You will also become yourself again and will, in the end, believe it or not, realize that the experience was positive and has helped you enormously. The next stage of the path of initiation and testing is called the crucifixion. This time involves a letting go of the burdens of the world. Many light workers feel that if they don't keep struggling on, the whole plan will fall apart. It is easy to get the feeling that you are the only one available to get the job done, and this thought often weighs heavily on the shoulders. Both of them. When operating in the divine flow, doing only what excites, interests, or feels right, you discover your role here is not a burden to be borne, but sheer joy. Yes. Feeling joy is one of the hardest things. If you are feeling the weight of responsibility, you could well be in this part of the initiation process. If you are thinking you should or must do something, you are in a thought process that you have mistaken for responsibility. This is not the true responsibility which comes naturally with evolution and carries with it feelings of ease, confidence, and lightness. It requires no thought process and is simply what one naturally does in life. This stage of initiation requires you to recognize areas where you may have accepted responsibility that really belongs to others and that you hand it back to them. It is time for each individual to take back their power. If you go on carrying responsibilities for others, you are not really helping them. You are, in a sense, saying that they are too weak to do it themselves, and you are preventing their opportunity to become stronger. Additionally, you may be blocking their ascension path and preventing them from handling the karma necessary to bring their energies back into balance. When you decide to accept their responsibility as your own, you also adopt the relevant karma. No thank you. Even if you have accepted the karmic absolution that has been granted to the majority of the light force, this would not extend to cover karma that truly belonged to another. That's your shit, that's not mine. That's yours, that's not mine. That's not mine. I'm all Yatsen free. I'm like neutral. I don't have to do that. I've been exempt, and I'm not taking on your crap. Yeah, that was good practice. Okay, so you need to recognize and accept your own responsibilities. These show themselves by a feeling of excitement, rightness, and interest in their contemplation. Responsibilities you have that truly belong to others show up when they feel like burdens to you and require a lot of effort and overcoming of difficulties to get them done. The contemplation of these tasks is more likely to bring a sigh of resignation than a feeling of excitement. If one listens to the dictates of the mind, it is easy to get the idea that there is no one else that can do it. So one falls into the trap of taking on other people's tasks, and in doing so, moves out of the flow of divine spiritual guidance. If it is truly your task, it feels right and is accomplished with ease. If you are operating as spirit and without ego, you will work in pure, inspiring joy. This is the final part of the testing. Okay. Goddess bless you. We will be continuing soon. I love you.